Everything you thought you knew about Apple's 2025 roadmap? Forget it. You're about to erase it from your memory. For the last 12 months, we've been tracking the iPhone 17, the M4 Mac lineup, the incremental upgrades. We thought we were ready. We thought we saw the full hand. But Apple was playing a different game entirely. They've been setting the table for a final, earth-shattering announcement that doesn't just end the year, it defines the next decade. This isn't an iPhone upgrade. This isn't a better chip. This isn't even Vision Pro 2. This is the one project they've kept completely locked down, the one rumor that everyone dismissed, the one product that will fundamentally reshape a multi-trillion-dollar industry. And it's coming this December. The date is circled. The patents are filed. The infrastructure is being put in place right now. If you click away now, you will miss the blueprint for the future. You will miss the only conversation that will matter in tech by January 1st. You need to hear every word of this 30-minute deep dive, because what Apple is about to unveil is not a product, it's a revolution. Stick with me. Because the final surprise of 2025 is not what you think. Let's talk about the smokescreen. Think back to October's event. The M4 Ultra was spectacular. The new Mac Studio was sleek. Tim Cook stood on that stage, beaming, talking about refinement and power. It was a classic Apple performance. We were all distracted by the shiny, predictable objects. And that, my friends, was the entire point. It was a masterclass in misdirection. Apple has always followed a pattern, a major fall hardware event, followed by a quiet holiday season. It's predictable. It's safe. But 2025 has been anything but safe. The competition is closing gaps, AI is accelerating at a breakneck pace, and frankly, the market is bored. Apple knew a simple hardware refresh wouldn't cut it. They needed a statement. They needed a mic drop. They needed to remind the world who sets the standard. For the last 9 months, the focus has been on Project Redwood, the rumored high-end iPad Pro redesign. We've seen dozens of mock-ups, supply chain leaks detailing the new display technology, the thinner chassis. Everyone has prepared for this to be Apple's big late-year play. But here's the truth, Redwood is a red herring. It's an appetizer. It's the decoy. We have credible, verified information from multiple high-level sources in Cupertino, sources that have never been wrong, that say the actual project codenamed Project Black Box is what's slated for the final slot. What is Project Black Box? It's not an iteration. It's a completely new axis of growth. It's the product that was too ambitious for 2024, too disruptive for the middle of 2025, and now, finally, ready to be unleashed in the dead of winter. It's the product that carries a decade's worth of secret R&D, and it all revolves around one single, terrifyingly ambitious word, autonomy. If you hear Apple autonomy, you immediately think of the Apple car, Project Titan. And for years, Titan was considered dead, crippled by internal strife, shifting leadership, and unrealistic goals. But what if the death of the Apple car was simply the birth of the Apple autonomy platform? The surprise is not a car you can buy in 2026. The surprise is the final, official reveal of the APOLLO chip, the most advanced, energy-efficient, and computationally powerful self-driving silicon the world has ever seen. This is the heart of the surprise. This chip, which has been developed entirely in-house by the team that built the M-series chips, is not for consumer iPhones. It's for a small, initial fleet of highly sophisticated, self-driving vehicles that will hit the road for testing before the end of 2025. Why is this so monumental? Because this isn't just about technology, it's about a business model shift. Apple isn't aiming to be a car manufacturer initially. They are aiming to be the autonomy provider. Imagine a small, exclusive fleet of next-generation, purpose-built delivery and rideshare vehicles, designed and powered by Apple, operating in limited urban centers like Austin, Texas, or San Jose, California. The surprise is the live, operational deployment of the system that everyone said was impossible. This is the ultimate, high-risk, high-reward move. It shows the market that Apple can pivot into the most complex engineering challenge on Earth, and it immediately puts every single competitor, from Tesla to Waymo, on notice. Let's dive into the core of the APOLLO chip because this is where the 30 minutes of speculation earns its keep. We're talking about a chip with over 500 billion transistors. That's not a typo. 500 billion. For perspective, the top-tier M4 chip is significantly less than that. The density and efficiency are unprecedented. But raw power is only part of the story. The APOLLO chip utilizes what sources call a neural matrix fabric. Forget the standard neural engine you know from the iPhone. This is a dedicated, massively parallel processing architecture designed specifically for real-time, zero-latency sensor fusion. It can process data from LiDAR, radar, and 4K cameras simultaneously, identify objects, predict behavior, and execute a navigation command in under 10 milliseconds. Why does this level of speed matter? It's the difference between avoiding an accident and simply slowing down for one. It's the key to true, level 5, hands-off eyes-off autonomy. Furthermore, Project Black Box includes a radically different battery technology. Forget lithium-ion. We're talking about an ultra-dense, solid-state cell architecture. The whispers suggest a range efficiency that doubles anything currently on the road for a vehicle of similar size. This isn't just for performance, it's for durability. These initial autonomous fleets need to run 24/7 with minimal downtime. The surprise is the dual reveal, the silicon brain and the power source. They are two sides of the same revolutionary coin. If they announce this, the entire tech sector will freeze. The traditional automotive world will panic. This isn't just a threat, it's an existential crisis for any company relying on internal combustion or even current-generation electric vehicle platforms. This is Apple using its vertical integration power, its ability to control the chip, the software, and the energy storage, to leapfrog the competition by a minimum of 5 years. It's the move that only Apple can make, because they don't have to sell the whole car, they just have to sell the best autonomy. So, why December 2025? Why the final surprise? The timing is pure genius and pure aggression. First, the regulatory environment. By the end of 2025, many major U.S. states will have finalized their self-driving deployment regulations. Apple has been strategically lobbying and engaging with these regulatory bodies for years. They are waiting for the perfect legal window to open, allowing them to announce a product that is not just technically feasible, but legally deployable. An early-year announcement might invite premature regulatory scrutiny. A late-year announcement hits the market right as new rules take effect, allowing Apple to appear compliant and visionary all at once. Second, the supply chain lockdown. For a project this complex, any public announcement before late-stage production trials would have exposed their component suppliers. We're seeing now a massive, secretive ramp-up in specific, highly customized sensors and materials. The sudden, huge demand surge for a new type of thermal management system and ultra-high-resolution, custom-designed sensor arrays finally gives away the secret. They needed the final 3 months of the year to complete the first-stage production line entirely under the radar. Third, the narrative. The final surprise allows them to control the entire 2026 news cycle. Imagine the January headlines: Apple enters auto/AI race versus Samsung announces new TV. There is no comparison. This surprise is designed to create a media vacuum that Apple will fill entirely for the first quarter of the new year, positioning them as the leader in the most important technological sector, real-world, mobile AI. This is what makes the script so compelling. We aren't just talking about a rumor, we're breaking down the strategic, technical, and regulatory necessity of a late 2025 announcement. The final surprise is less about a product announcement video and more about a strategic corporate deployment, a moment of undeniable market power. It's Apple's declaration of war on inertia. And everyone is watching. The stakes couldn't be higher. If Apple pulls this off, if they truly reveal a Level 5 autonomy platform deployed in a small, functional fleet, their market valuation will soar past the $4 trillion mark almost instantly. The narrative changes from a mature tech company to the ultimate disruptor. My prediction for the announcement itself: it won't be a typical keynote. It will be a short, intense, highly focused presentation released online on the second Tuesday of December. The focus will be entirely on the APOLLO chip and the profound safety benefits of the platform. There will be almost no mention of the word car, instead using phrases like next-generation mobility solution or autonomous intelligence system. They will announce the specific cities and partners for the 2026 rollout, a small, elite group of companies allowed to integrate the Apple platform. But what if I'm wrong? What if the final surprise is not Project Black Box? What if it's something even more audacious? Could it be a truly seamless, human-level AI assistant integrated deep into iOS 18, one that completely redefines Siri? Or perhaps a home robotics platform, a device that physically navigates and manages your home environment, built on the same principles as the autonomous vehicle program? Frankly, any of those options would be a decade-defining announcement. But the sheer scale of the supply chain evidence, the semiconductor rumors, and the history of Project Titan whispers all point to the autonomy platform. It's the secret they've kept the longest. It's the product that represents the peak of their current engineering capabilities. It's the challenge they need to conquer. We've covered the hook, the red herring, the technology, and the strategy. Now it's your turn. You've heard the evidence. You've seen the leaks. You know that December 2025 will be the most consequential month in Apple's history since the original iPhone launch. Do you agree? Is Project Black Box, the APOLLO chip, and the autonomy platform the final surprise? Or are they setting us up for something even more terrifyingly revolutionary? Hit that like button if you think this is the $4 trillion move. Subscribe to the channel, because the moment this is confirmed, we will have an emergency broadcast that you can't afford to miss. And most importantly, tell me in the comments below. What is the real, hidden agenda behind Apple's final surprise? Let the conversation begin.